What's good with y'all, man? Y'all back tuning in, your boy Charlie. Let's discuss that. And today we're gonna talk about mental illness and the origin of how different people begin to get attacked with this disease, and it just allowing the mind just to be all the way gone. You know what I mean? And we're gonna talk about drug addiction. It's another thing that I dealt with in my life with family members and things of that nature. You know what I mean? But let's first start talk about mental illness, man. My mother has mental illness. You know what I mean, real bad. She have issues with that, and I always felt like it was the origin of it, of how it all began and how it all started. Like my grandma had mental disorders, and then my mother ended up getting it later on in her 30s or whatever, and it's just been a trickle effect during her. You know what I'm saying? But like I always say, man, a lot of times people be put on the stress that will make their mind go. And I felt like my mom at a young age was put under a lot of stress, and that's what ended up causing her to be in those situations like that. So like I always tell people, man, you gotta find things in life that you enjoy to bring your stress level down. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my mom always wanted to have love and to find an individual that would love her and everything about her. And I think that during her life, she wasn't able to find that connection. So she just began to have a lot of stress with having little kids and things of that nature. Like I always say, man, it's a process when you have kids and stuff like that. And mental illness, a lot of times, man, some people can be born that way, or some people can just be going through a lot of stress in life, and it's just sometimes it can be a difficult task for people to be able to quote with reality when they don't have the things that they desire. Like you would have a person that desire to be like you can have people that's in school that's going through mental problems because they don't fit in, or they're not quote unquote popular, or whatever the case may be. So they begin to have breakdowns and stuff like that because they desire so bad to be in the in crowd. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, it could be little things that can trigger a mental disorder and have a person like really going through depressions and things of that nature. I mean, it could just be everyday life, little small things. See, the things we think are small can be humongous to another person, like love, money, popularity, things of that nature. That's why I always say, man, it's always good to, if you a big brother or a father or a mother, to always talk to your kids, or even if you got a friend or somebody that's going through something, have a conversation with them and always give them positive energy and positive feedbacks, because you never know what situation a person might be in. They might need that. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, I dealt with it with my mom. I've been through. Me and my brothers, we were separated. My sisters were separated. We always put in foster care because my mom's mental illness had got so bad. You know what I'm saying? So I've been dealing with this for years, since the age of like uh, 13, 14, and 15. You know what I'm saying? And on and on. My brothers and sisters dealt with it a lot younger. You know what I'm saying? Because when they left out of my mom's care, they was younger than me. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, I really started to see a change as I became like in my teens, like, you know what I mean, 13, 14, I started to see a change. I started to see the stress and the frustration of living in the projects and not having none of the fathers that made the kids with you, helping you with anything. So you got all the stress on you, and it's frustrating to have that. And then you see them living their life like everything's okay, but nobody's supporting or helping you in any form or fashion. And they just walking around, they want to have sex and live their life and don't give a F about the kids. And then the women have to take on that responsibility, and it's destroying them mentally. It's destroying my mom mentally. She never had the love that she desired, and you know what I mean, and the lifestyle that she desired. And then she had to raise us, which was hard-headed kids running around just doing wild stuff. You know what I mean? We live in our everyday life just doing wild and crazy stuff. There's a lot of stress on the person's mind to have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying, on a regular basis. That's why I say, man, it's when you have two people, a mother and a father, even if that person is not the biological father, just to have a person there to help out, it make life easier. You know what I'm saying? Have that love companion by your side. And that's what she needed. And she never had it, and it just broke her down. and took her to that mental space when she become depressed all the time, not feeling like she worth nothing. And I feel like it ate at her. And like, it be days, man, like growing up my whole life, I looked at my mom as like superwoman. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, I see my mom, man, and it just bring me to tears because I knew how great she were. I mean, she's still great, but the disease done tore her up so bad. Like some days, the medicine's so strong that she can't even feed herself. You know what I'm saying? It just bring me to tears because I know how great my mom was and how much she meant to me. So when I see stuff like that, it's so painful. You know what I'm saying? It's like very painful, man. I still remember when I was a kid and everybody was in foster care and they would try to get all us to go see my mom. And I remember one time I went and my sister had got removed from the home that I was living in. My mom was there giving my brother a birthday party. She would bring him cake, ice cream, and all that. And I just remember sitting in that little small room, man, holding back all my tears because it hurted me so deeply just to see our family being torn apart by this horrible disease of depression and mental illness. And I'm watching my brothers and sisters just have fun while I'm just sitting there soaking with so much pain because I miss them. I miss my sister. I miss my brother. I miss my mom. You know what I'm saying? I loved them so much. And to see this disease tear her mind apart and just take her out like that, it really crushed me, man. I was sitting in that small room as my mom was just giving my brother gifts and cake and all that, trying to do the best she could, even though her mind was slipping away. And it just hurted me so deep, man. I just remember holding my tears back. Didn't want to let my brothers and sisters see me be sad or be down, and just remembering that pain that I felt as I see my mama just smiling, being happy just to have us in her presence just for a glimpse of a second. And it's just like, dang, it was so painful. That's why I say, man, it's a powerful thing to have somebody to go to talk to and have that outlet for that. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with somebody having a conversation or chopping it up with. I've been through that. So like that incident, man, happened. And I remember going back home to my foster home, and I remember just crying tears, man, like tears, like I couldn't even stop crying, man. I wouldn't let nobody see me cry or nothing. I just go in the room, lock the door and just cry. Just, you know what I'm saying, just praying that my mom, man, would go back to normal, man. You know what I'm saying? It's that feeling, man. Like I was listening to this Plies song one time, how he was saying he prayed so much and never seemed to change. And I think a lot of times, like, that's how people lose faith because they don't see the change right away. Because a lot of things is a process, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, man, it was a painful thing that I dealt with, that mental illness and stuff like that. I love my mom all the way, and I know it's not her fault, and I know how cruel these individuals were, and people that was supposed to have her back never did, you know what I'm saying? So I don't hold her accountable for none of this stuff, man. I kind of understand, like, her mind being gone and things going on with her. She called me every day. I'm going to pick up the phone. There might be some days I might be going through something, but most days I pick up the phone, we pray together and all of that. I'm not no perfect guy. I ain't no perfect person, but I love my mama. I love my sister. I love my brother. I love all of them. And I know how strong mental illness is and depression is. That's why I encourage everybody to find a friend or find somebody that can hold you down. You know what I'm saying? Like I never told one of my best friends, it's like, I always felt like, you know what I'm saying, I had been in depressions like that where I didn't even want to live no more. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like, God would do things in your life to prevent you from doing it, because I had multiple times I didn't want to live no more. You know what I'm saying? Seeing your mama like that, your family like that, it's painful. I mean, you can't even fathom those feelings, you know what I'm saying, other than somebody dying that you really love. But just to not to have your family around that you always had around, and to see it be destroyed by mental illness, it's painful, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, man, there's nothing wrong with going to therapy. There's nothing wrong with talking to people and having an outlet, because some people need that, man. And that's why I always encourage people, man, to don't give up, man. Find that outlet. Don't kill yourself, because there be people killing themselves over popularity at school, being bullied and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, my wife's son, he got like 2 fingers on his hand, and when he go to school, they call him monsters and all different types of things like that. They down him, but yeah, he can play just as good as them. He can move just as good as them. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, people could be cruel in this world, very cruel and very nasty. You know what I'm saying? He had to deal with that a lot. You know what I'm saying? He would tell me stories of how kids would keep asking him questions about his hand and stuff like that. That can bring depression. But I'm always glad that he kept a positive spirit, and that's why he got people like me that's gonna. I'm gonna be tough on you, but at the same time, when you coming to me with stories like that, I gotta listen to it and I gotta give you good advice about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow the person to die, because I seen my mama go through depressions and stuff like that, and lead to these mental illness. And I mean, like where people just can't take it anymore. So that's why I always encourage people, man. If you got a family member that's depressed and you seeing them depressed and you seeing them going through something, and you can help them, help them. And even if it's a small conversation, man, just be there to do that for them. You feel me? Like I say, man, I love my mom. I love my mom with all my heart. You know what I mean? We always pray and we talk. It's my road, dog. I always love my mom. So, like I say, to see her with the mental illness thing, it's sad, man. It's very sad. And then, like, it's just painful to see that, man. Somebody so great, somebody so special to my heart. And just to watch that disease, this terror apart limb for limb, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, prayer, man. Prayer, man, that's all you can do. You know what I'm saying? And keep your faith and just keep pushing. And that manifestation gonna come. You know what I'm saying? When she's not gonna have those issues no more, she gonna realize that all the love she always desired is right there in front of her. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, it's cold-hearted people out here. Like I say, I'm gonna do a multiple series about depression and multiple series about drug addiction. You know what I'm saying? So right now we're gonna talk about drug addictions and stuff like that, and what I had seen in my life and stuff like that. Like I say, my father was on drugs really bad, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then like I was telling my wife this story, like I just remembered like days where now that I'm older, where he just wanted me to be around, like, cause he missed so much of my life, like going in and out of jail, chasing drugs and stealing and doing all the kind things that the drugs will make you do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that a drug addiction, people always say, just quit. Everybody can't just quit, because it's their outlet of delivering them from depression, sadness. Because people go through things and they use it. Some people use it, they bring them excitement and fun because of all the pain that they're going through. See, this is why I keep saying it's a trickle effect of the mental illness. It's all these things are working as one. And it's tearing the black community apart. Like limb for limb, there's a lot of people in the black community dealing with mental illness, but people lock them away and don't treat them like they treat the Caucasian people. You know what I'm saying? They don't even give them that evaluation like that. You see what I'm saying? Like when them people we dealing with the same issues. You feel what I'm saying? But it's not, we all know it's not fair treatment. But like I say, man, like I seen the drug addiction, man. My father is a great man, man. Like I seen a lot of fathers, right? They know who their kids is, won't even speak to them, won't even say nothing to them. My dad was on drugs, in and out of jail. He always broke bread with me. He had money in his pocket, he gave it to me. Smoking all that stuff he smoked. He still showed me love, still try to bring me Christmases. Even if he had his brother come bring me something for Christmas, he still try to do something. Even with that addiction attacking him. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, it's not always easy to get rid of those addictions and things of that nature. That's